Howdy, what's going on, guys? It's your boy. Welcome back to another video. Today is a very exciting day. It's the beginning of a new month, so we're going to go through last month and talk about all of the movies, music, and more that I paid attention to. This is my monthly media roundup for the month of June. I watched a lot of movies this month. I watched one singular TV show, and I listened to an ungodly amount of music. So let's talk about it, shall we? So, for starters, with the movies, we're going to be talking about all the movies that I saw. I'm going to rapid-fire review all of the movies that I saw, give you guys a rating on a scale of, 1 to 5 stars. And I'm going to start off with the movies that I rewatched, because I rewatched quite a few movies this month. Okay, so starting off, I rewatched all of the Toy Story movies. So starting off with the first Toy Story movie, I think that this movie is a classic. There's a lot to really enjoy about this movie. But one thing that I really cannot stand about this movie every time I see it is the animation style really is horrendous. It actually is very painful to rewatch this movie, and it's something that drives me insane because Disney is constantly putting hundreds of millions of dollars into making live-action remakes for some of their animated classics. Please, for the love of God, give them like a $50,000 budget. I don't know how expensive it is. It might be like $20 million. I don't know. Give them a shit ton of money so they could reanimate the original Toy Story movie, because it's a good movie and I feel like it's really entertaining and I feel like it'd be great to rewatch, but it is unsettling to rewatch. But overall, I really enjoyed it, so I gave that movie a 4 stars. Toy Story 2, however, I, on a rewatch, actually really enjoyed this movie a lot more than I remembered liking it. I think that there's a lot of really fun things with this movie. I think that the origin story of Woody and seeing all the stuff with the Woody's Roundup is really interesting. I think that Bullseye and Jessie might be one of the best, introducing new characters to a franchise ever. They do such a good job of just seamlessly putting them into this franchise, and they fit with the characters so well, and everything with Buzz and Zurg in this movie is so good. I think that they really did a great job of making this movie even better than the first one. So Toy Story 2, in my opinion, is a 4.5 stars. Then we go to Toy Story 3. One of the best animated movies of all time is what a lot of people would say about this film. Personally, I'm not super big on the Toy Story franchise, so I don't connect with the characters as much. I don't get nearly as emotional as a lot of people do when Andy says his farewell and when they have that incinerator scene. I still think it's really cool. I think that I understand why people really, really love this movie and resonate with it. I can only give it 4.5 stars. It's still a solid movie. I think that Lotso's a really good villain, and I think everything that they do with Barbie in this movie, with Barbie and Ken, was so ahead of its time, and I really loved that. I thought that that was awesome. Then we go into Toy Story 4. I still hate it. I still really dislike this movie. As somebody who's a diehard Pixar fan, for people who are new here, I have the Pixar lamp tattooed on my body. Pixar is, in my opinion, the best film studio of all time. I feel like they very rarely make bad movies. Toy Story 4 is one that I'm very on the fence about. I think that the first act is so redundant and repetitive, and it's so terrible. And I really hate the fact that we're 4 movies into this franchise and Woody is still the main character of this movie. I think that Bonnie should be at least somewhat a focal point of this film, and at no point do they really seem to care about making us care about Bonnie. We don't really get to spend much time with Bonnie's toys. We don't get to see how the dynamic is in Bonnie's room, and it's such a weird choice, because you're starting a new trilogy with Bonnie. I feel like you should do something to, kind of set up the fact that, hey, this is Bonnie, this is why we should care about Bonnie. Instead, they give us the most annoying character in all of Pixar. Okay, that's a little bit of that's high. That's a little crazy. There are other really annoying characters that exist, but Forky drives me fucking nuts. I really don't like Forky. So overall, I give this movie 3 stars. It's not terrible, but I really can't get on board with it. But that's all of the Toy Story movies. Then I also rewatched the movie The Nice Guys. If you have not seen The Nice Guys, go watch it right now. 5 stars. I think that this is one of the best comedies of all time. Russell Crowe is such a great serious actor that whenever he plays in a movie like this, where it's a little more silly and there's a lot of crazy things happening, him and Ryan Gosling work so fucking well together. Genuinely laugh my ass off so hard every time I watch this movie. The action sequences also work relatively well. Really, really love this movie. I think it's fantastic. Another movie that's another comedy that I rewatched recently that I, once again, would totally recommend. I recently rewatched the movie Rescue Rangers? What is it called? Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Very good. I gave that one 4 stars. There's so many fun pop culture references in it, and I think that the overall storyline of movie studios are just pumping out reboots and remakes, and they're just constantly taking these washed actors and making them into a terrible bootleg version of this thing. I think that was a really fun concept for a movie, and they did a really good job of kind of being a meta commentary on remakes and how oh my god, they really need to stop pumping out remakes all the time, despite also being a remake and a legacy sequel, they did a really good job with it. I thought it was really entertaining. And then the last movie that I rewatched was the movie Obsession. If you have not seen the movie Obsession, go watch it right now. If you could still find it in a theater, go watch it in a theater right now. It might genuinely be one of the greatest movies of all time. And I know that that's a crazy thing to say. I don't care. I watched it 3 times and I'm still obsessed with it. I think that it's really good. I think that it's a movie that really makes you think, and that is so beyond refreshing right now. It is such a great modern horror story. I think that it's something that a lot of people would not find that terrifying, like back like 20 years ago, but it works so well for these modern days. And I think that one thing that I really like about this movie is every single person in the film feels like a genuine person that you would meet in real life. Like, I know 20 Bears in real life. I know at least 6 Ians in real life. I know too many Sarahs and Nikkis where they're like regular girls who end up getting their lives completely ruined because they interacted with a bear for too long. Like, it's so real. All of the character archetypes are absolutely phenomenal. They're played like very real people. It's just like a very regular, toxic work environment and like friend group that you tend to have in your early 20s. They mastered this movie. It was such a good movie. It's so good. The horror elements work really well. It makes you insanely uncomfortable. 10 out of 10 movie. Love Obsession. Alrighty, and now to talk about all the movies that I watched for the first time in the month of June. The first one is a movie that's been out for a really long time, and then the other 4 are all new releases. But the movie that came out a really long time ago is the movie Beautiful Boy. I don't remember what was going on, but I was like, I really want to see an emotional movie. I want to see a movie that's going to make me cry, and this movie, unfortunately, didn't really do it for me. I think that this movie feels incredibly repetitive, and something that I don't like about this movie is it kind of takes place over the time span of like 20 years, and like there's constantly like flashbacks to like, oh, this is, you know, when he was a child, no, here's when he was a teenager, and oh, here's when he was doing this, and here's when he was doing that. And then it, like, after like the first 30 minutes when we like really see Timothée Chalamet's character really get into drugs, it's just a constant like, okay, he gets really into drugs, he pushes his father away, he disappears for 3 months, he comes back, he has a conversation with his father, he, you know, decides to refuse the help that his father's trying to give him, and then he runs away again, and then he does a bunch of drugs, and then he crawls back to his father, and then he goes back and he does drugs, and then he crawls back to his father, and then he does drugs, and then and it's like, I understand why this could be really emotional if you're somebody who's been around that and you can connect with these characters, but as somebody seeing it from an outside lens, it doesn't at any point really make me connect with any of these characters, so it didn't really work as well for me. It just felt really redundant and overdone. That being said, both the acting performances were really good. Steve Carell and Timothée Chalamet were great in this. But now to talk about the new movies that came out this month. The movie The Backrooms, oh, fantastic. Oh, it's absolutely incredible. I think that this movie does such a good job of just expressing how infinite it is. I think that part of the problem with making a movie like The Backrooms is you only have a limited amount of time to explain something that is unlimited, something that is infinite, and something that you genuinely would not be able to wrap your head around because it's just too much to process. And they do such an incredible job of like, there are a lot of sequences in this film where it's like, oh, they're deep into the back rooms, and then like they get out and it's like, oh my god, thank god we're safe, we're out of the back rooms. And then it's like, oh my god, I don't think they are out of the back rooms. And there's just so many individual moments like that where it's like your brain just like got put in a blender, and in the best way possible. It was so deep. It was so cathartic. It made me feel every single emotion. And it's one of those things where it's like, I really wanted to look away because of how uncomfortable I was, but I was glued to the screen in just curiosity of how they're going to explain certain things. And they leave a lot of things unexplained. And I think it's in a way that's very tastefully well done. I really enjoyed The Backrooms. It felt like, once again, a very refreshing horror movie by a young director. Definitely would recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it. The next movie I saw, this was a Netflix original movie, and oh my god, Netflix original rom-coms this year are absolutely on fucking fire. I saw the movie Voicemails for Isabel. God, this movie's great. First of all, I gotta say, Nick Robinson, incredible. I think that Zoe Dutch, absolutely incredible in literally everything. You put her in any rom-com, she's going to be an absolute standout. I think that her chemistry on screen with everybody is really good. She has such good charisma. She's such a funny character, and she does such a good job of like being this really outgoing, lovely, free-spirited woman. And I think that overall the romance in this movie is really good. The comedy in this movie is absolutely hilarious. There's a lot of bits that will have me laughing out loud. And somehow, despite the fact that the sister is only in the movie for maybe about like the first 10 minutes of the film, they get you so emotionally invested in this relationship with the sister and the main character, and it is heartbreaking. I think that it is up there with movies like Up, with one of the most devastating first 10 minutes of a film ever. So for the movie The Voicemails to Isabel, I gave that movie a 4.5 stars out of 10. 4.5 stars out of 5. Really, really enjoyed it. I thought that was very good. Another movie that I saw for the first time, I saw Toy Story 5. I feel like I probably should have led with this because I watched all the other Toy Story movies. Toy Story 5 is okay. It's not great. I will say, I think that a lot of people online really enjoyed it, and a lot of people were connecting with it a lot more. I think one of the problems is, this is a franchise that, in my opinion, has really overstayed its welcome. So a lot of the characters I really could care less about, and I think that that's part of the problem with this movie, is like the only character that I care about in this entire film basically is Jessie. So whenever she's on screen, you get a lot of really great moments with her. I think that they do a lot of really good job of building her character up, but like, once again, Woody is back. Please stop it. Please stop it. I really wish he was not in this movie. And then another thing that I hate about this movie is they treat this movie like this is a huge comeback. And like, it almost like acts as if like this was the comeback from Toy Story 3 and not Toy Story 4. And there will literally be moments where like a character's like, oh, this is just like the old days. And it's like, they have to tell us that we should feel nostalgia as opposed to actually letting us feel that nostalgia. And I don't like that. I think that Toy Story 5 has a lot of like small little moments like that that just really like rub me the wrong way, because it's like, they know that this is like a beloved franchise and that like people will just come back to keep rewatching this because it reminds them of their childhood. And I hate that. So overall, I gave this movie a 3.5. I think it's a little bit better than Toy Story 4, but not by much. And then the last new movie that I saw in the month of June was the movie Supergirl, which I actually was a pretty good fan of. I think that overall, Millie Alcock is absolutely phenomenal. And when you have the main character of your movie is somebody who's as charismatic and fun to watch, it's hard for me to dislike the movie. I think that overall I gave it a 3.5 stars out of 10. Whoa, I keep saying out of 10. I'm so sorry. 3.5 stars out of 5. It's a very fun movie. I think that the action's really good. I think that for the most part, the visuals are great. I love the soundtrack. There is one needle drop towards the end of the movie that people are saying is like the worst needle drop of all time. I didn't like that needle drop. I agree, it's a pretty bad needle drop. But aside from that song, I think all of the other songs in this movie are great. Like, this movie had a lot of potential to be like one of the biggest movies of the summer, and I think that they've just really botched the marketing for it. I really hope it finds its fans. There's a lot to really love about the movie. I think that, like I said, Millie Alcock is incredible. Jason Momoa as Lobo is solid. He does not need to be in the movie at all. And that kind of actually drives me insane. Like, it almost makes me wish he wasn't in this movie because it makes no sense for him to be there, and it's so unnecessary, and it takes away so much of the movie. Not that important. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was fun. I gave it 3.5 stars. Now, to talk about the one TV show that I watched. The only TV show that I watched in the month of June was a little Hulu original called Not Suitable for Work. For people who do not know what this is, it kind of feels like they're trying to make this generation's version of Friends. There's a lot of TV shows that are coming out nowadays, and I think that they're all on Hulu or FX, and FX ends up on Hulu. But it's just basically like, hey, what if there was a group of friends who lived in New York and lived across the hallway from each other? And then you get to see them kind of, dealing with their little hijinks, and they get a lot of fun stuff. I think that overall, my favorite thing about Not Suitable for Work is there's a lot of fun ships in this, and it's a fandom that, for my experience at least, is a relatively big fandom. So you're seeing a lot of ship edits. You're seeing a lot of people talking about like, oh my god, this is going to be a fun slow burn, and oh, these people are probably going to have an enemies to lovers thing, and it's just fun to interact with that. I really like, as somebody who doesn't have a lot of romance in my actual life, to enjoy romance through a screen. Incredibly fun, and especially in a world where it's like, as a young adult, I feel like I'm really lacking out on like having friend groups and stuff like that. Watching this while I'm like having dinner alone makes me feel a little bit better, makes me feel like I'm not as alone. It's very entertaining. The cast is very charismatic. There's a lot of really fun dynamics. It's absolutely hilarious. I really enjoyed it. If you have not seen Not Suitable for Work and you're the kind of person who's looking for like a new fun sitcom to just kind of put on, it's solid for that. There's a little bit of drama, but overall nothing gets too stressful, but I liked it. And then finally, the last segment, we have the music section here. I like to list off my top 5 artists that I've listened to the most over the last month, and kind of just tell you guys some of my favorite songs from them. So that's what I'm going to do. But before I get too far into this, last month I forgot to mention, I always have an honorable mention for Hozier. Hozier is my favorite artist of all time. I'm always listening to Hozier. The Hozier songs that I've been listening to this month are all from Wasteland Baby. Wasteland Baby is absolutely fantastic. I've been listening to songs like No Plan has been on repeat. I love that song. And then it's To Noise Making or To Making Noise, one of those two. Once again, incredible song. I believe that's also from Wasteland Baby. Okay, but now to dive into my artist. Starting off in 5th place, I have the band Almost Monday. I've been really loving this band for a really long time. I think that they're great. I think that they have such a fun, high energy. If you're somebody who is really into dancing and getting a good upbeat vibe for summer, I think that they have so many songs that are really good for summer car rides. I love listening to the song Lost, I believe, by them is a really good song. The song that I've been listening to the most by them is Skinny Dip. Skinny Dip has literally been on repeat this entire month. I think that it is such a good summer song. It is such a good song to just drive to. Like if you're driving and the sun's down, oh, that's a damn good song to drive to. And I really love it. I think that for the most part, Almost Monday, you can shuffle pretty much any of their songs and it's really good. I fucks with them. 4th place, very similarly to one of the bands that I always mention on this list. This is a person who, anytime I mention him, people are like, who is that? We have a person named Connor Price. He is a Christian rapper, but he doesn't like rap about Jesus. He doesn't like make a bunch of songs that are explicitly Christian. It just means he doesn't curse. And for the most part, his songs are really good, upbeat songs. If you've ever heard of the song Trendsetter is one of his biggest songs. It's something that was very popular, played on a lot of ads and stuff like that. He is popular enough that like if you watch TV with commercials, odds are you've heard one of his songs. And also every once in a while, there'll be like an edit to one of his songs that gets like 50 million views on TikTok. So odds are you've heard a Connor Price song. You just probably don't know who he is. And this month, he released an album with one of his close friends, a guy named Nick D. And they're both relatively fun, really fun vibe. So I've been listening to that album on non-stop. I think it's called Paper Boys or something like that. But specifically, I've been listening to a song called Hop Out on repeat and a song called Perfect Timing on repeat. Those are both really fun songs. Coming in 3rd place, one of my favorite summer artists is an artist that I literally only listen to over the summer, which is weird, but I do have artists that are like that. We have the artist Role Model, absolutely incredibly fun. He released a song called High Hopes 3000. He had a snippet that was going around on TikTok for a while, and when it first came out, I wasn't a big fan. It has grown on me a lot. I think that it's an incredibly fun song. And on top of that, he also has a song called Super Glue that I really enjoy, that I've been getting into, and a song called Deeply Still in Love with You that I really enjoy running to. I think it's a really good song to run to. It's a very fun, high energy, and I like it because it's basically like a love song, but it's specifically he's apologizing for still being in love with somebody who isn't in love with him. And I think that that's such a fun thing to sing about, and especially, like I said, as a single person over the summer, when it's like a really good time to have a summer fling or have a relationship. It's okay. I'm fine. Coming in 2nd place, we have Olivia Rodrigo. She released an album. I'm going to try to say the name of it off the top of my head, but I guarantee you I'm going to get this wrong. You look pretty upset for a girl so in love. You look pretty sad. You seem pretty sad for a girl so in love. One of those. I think one of those is correct. But overall, I'm absolutely loving this entire album. I've been listening to the entire album. But if I had to list my favorite songs, I think Me Plus You equals Hearts Forever. Absolutely fantastic. I think that that's a really fun one. I think that the song Stupid Song is absolutely incredible. The song My Way has just like this energy that like, oh my God, I feel like I can run through a brick wall when I listen to that song. I think that that's incredibly fun. And then the song Exceptions is really, really good. I think that the song Obsessions is probably like song of the summer material. It's such a good dancing song. It's such a fun, lighthearted song. And I think that anytime there's a song where it's kind of like trashing on men, it's song of the summer for me, because as somebody who was raised by 3 older sisters, has mostly female friends, I do kind of hate men. And a song that's like a I hate men anthem, fuck yeah, turn that shit up. So overall, Olivia Rodrigo, fantastic. But my number 1 artist, still, I think this is probably like 4 months in a row, Noah Kahan. I have not stopped listening to The Great Divide, Last of the Bug. I keep driving and having long drives where I need to drive for like 45 minutes, and I'm like, what do I put on? Noah Kahan's new album? Okay. I've listened to that album probably about 34 times now. And 20 of those times was in the last month. It's so good. I can't help it. Currently, the songs that are stuck in my head a lot are the songs Paid Time Off. Paid Time Off is a really good one. I really like Paid Time Off. I really love Doors. I think that Doors was one of my favorites when the album first came out, and it still sticks with me pretty well. It's a really fun one. I think that Downfall is incredibly fun. A Few of Your Own it's probably going to be one of my go-to karaoke songs come 2 years from now. So 2 years from now, it's going to be next month when I go to the karaoke bar. I'm singing a few of your own, and it's incredible. I really love it. But yeah, overall, that's all the media that I've been consuming in the month of June. I would love to meet up with you guys next month when I do this for the month of July. Hopefully, the month of July has a lot of good movies coming out this month. So hopefully my movie section is a little bit more interesting, and it's a lot of movies that are actually newer because, I don't know, I like movies a lot, and I like to be known as like that movie guy, but I've really been slacking in the movie department the last couple of months. But that being said, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming by and checking it out. I love and appreciate you guys so much for watching, and if you liked it, feel free to like and subscribe. And I'll hopefully see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bow, bow, bow.